AVC, it's Greeno. Want to do another update. It's Saturday. Let's start over. Okay, so let's just jump right into it here. I just got this in this week. It's a single from a band I really dig. I got their debut album just come out last year along with this single. They're from Norway. Is that right? I believe. Anyways, Flight. See where we're at with the glare. There we go. Man, I dig the crap out of this band. Here's the label. It's just one of those new wave of traditional heavy metal bands, but on the new wave of British heavy metal side. This sounds like it could have come out like in '81 or something. It's really good. It's on Bad Omen. And this has Don't Lose It, which is on the debut album. But the B-side is a cover of Legend. And the song is Stormers of Heaven. But I think I got a picture on the back too. But anyways, really cool band. The vocals, to be quite honest, take a little getting used to. But after I got used to the dude, he's like perfect for the band. But the music is just, it's new wave of British heavy metal done today. It's just really cool band. Highly recommended. I found this like a month or so ago. I haven't been out much digging, but probably last time I did go out, found this. It's kind of weird, so I picked it up. It's one of those Rock Saga interview discs, and this is a double 45 of Kiss. I got a few of these, like Kicks, and man, I can't remember who all. There's a ton of them actually, but they're just big square 45s. You can see the hole here in the middle. But I haven't played it. Probably won't play it. It was just an oddity, so I thought I would grab, throw it in the collection. So. Okay, it's Sunday. Right now, if you can even hear it, spinning Stage Fright, which is Witchfind's second album. Just got this one in. Reissue on Back on Black. But I don't know, back here kind of digging through the shelves, and just kind of thought maybe do a little bit of a random pull. So I don't think I've filmed back here for a while, and this is basically if I can get everything in here. This is basically the metal over on this side, and the first two rows on this side. Then it goes into rock, just standard, regular rock, whatever. Alright, so I don't know, like I said, try and do a random pull, and I guess you kind of have to trust me, not seeing my face here. Won't be looking, just be pulling something out, and hopefully I can remember what the hell it is and say something about it. If not, oh well. There's a striper. Alright, we'll start right here. Not looking. Oh, Warrior Soul. Their first album, last decade, Dead Century. Love Warrior Soul, especially the first 2 or 3 albums. Corey Clark, lead singer. Just total, very opinionated, very political band, and he didn't mess around with his lyrics. He just kind of said what he thought. Remember seeing interviews with him talking about living on the underground and not having fixed address, and not trusting the government and all that kind of stuff. Just crazy, but killer band. Love that album. Listened to the hell out of it. Had it on CD originally when it first came out in the late, I guess it came out in '89 or so. Alright, pulled a couple things out of the collection to listen to here lately, and this is spinning right now actually. And I love this album, but I had forgot how much I love this album and how great this album is. I think it's really overlooked, kind of, when you look back at this era. But I think it fits right in there with all the big ones. And that's Flotsam and Jetsam, Doomsday for the Deceiver. But this fits right in there with the early Metallica and Exodus, Slayer, Anthrax, and all that. This is a solid freaking album, man. Just great songs. And, of course, what even has it on here, Newstead. Basically, I think by the time this album come out, pretty much, he'd already bolted for Metallica. But it kind of makes you wonder, if he'd stayed around, man, what this band would have turned into. And their second album, I think I'm going to pull it out pretty soon, Spin It Again, because I don't know it as well. No Place for Disgrace. But, wow, this album, again, I think it's overlooked or just kind of forgotten about how good this album is. Great band. And I know they went on a ton of albums, and they never really caught me as much as this one. This one's like perfect. And also pulled out Except, Restless and Wild. Just a classic Except. As soon as you drop the needle and it starts that little nursery rhyme thing or whatever, and the scratch and the scream, it's like, you're right into it. This is just a fantastic classic album. Okay, week or two ago, went to a show. Went to see the mighty COC. Pepper Keenan's back. Was totally stoked up to see these dudes. A little bar, kind of in my area. Sold out. Everybody was going nuts. COC was fantastic. Pepper Keenan, man, just great lead singer, and I love that 90s era. I've talked about it before, the Wise Blood era and all that, Deliverance. But opening up was Mothership, which, I've checked out online. I've come that close to ordering their debut album, and I never did. There was something that was kind of like, I understand what they're going for. They're heavy. They got a 70s influence. They're cool. They're out of Dallas, Texas. But I never grabbed the album. It's just something about the album didn't grab me. So, no big deal. And I kind of lost track of them since then. And they actually have another studio album and a live album. But anyways, we get there. Mothership comes out and just completely blows the roof off the place. They were better than COC. We were just freaking out, man. They were fantastic. Great live, man. Great live band. Studio, they haven't perfected that yet, I don't think. But anyways, went over to the merch table. The bass player, singer, was working it, basically. Talked to him for a second, really cool dude. And they had the 3 albums on vinyl, so I picked them up. And as soon as I got home, the next day, I put on the live album, Live Over Freak Valley. And great cover here. They're a 3-piece power trio out of Dallas, Texas. And man, there's no screwing around here. These dudes hit the stage, and they freaking owned it. The guitar player is just incredible. Really good, really into it. He's not like this incredible technical player. He's this incredible, Gibson Flying V into a big orange stack, cranked up, and just going at it, man. Just rock and roll. They were fantastic. Guitar player and bass player, singer are brothers. And wow, just blew me away. You ever get to see them live, definitely check them out. And this is good. This is a live album, like I said. Very good. Studio albums. Here's the debut. and I actually have a couple stickers there from the show. It's cool, and they're on Ripple Music, which I dig that label. And like I said, I understand what they're going for, especially after seeing them live. But studio-wise, man, they just haven't captured it yet. And here's their second album. I think it's just called 2. Love the cover. And here's the label. And I don't want to talk bad about the albums. They're not that they're bad. It's just they're lacking that energy or whatever. I don't know what it is, man. Especially after seeing them live. Some bands are just kind of like that, I guess. You know, they never quite capture it on in the studio. And this may be one of those bands, because I swear to God, I was so high after getting home from the mothership, man. It was just like I was bouncing off the walls. I couldn't sleep. They were so good. They just had me amped up. They were great. And again, COC was great. So happy to finally have seen them with Pepper singing. But Mothership was just blew my head off. Alright, let's move on. Alright, let's I'm gonna just move down one more. Back and forth. Oh, there's the new Viking. I just showed that the other day, so we won't count that one. It's down here. Victory. Don't Get Mad, Get Even. Very cool band. German, is that right? Just killer straight up metal band. I have a few albums by these dudes. Really dig them. Next, saw this on my trip up to New England, hanging out in LJ's music room. I was like, man, I gotta track down some stuff by these dudes. I didn't have anything. I found their newest album, or their last album, and finally got the first EP, which isn't easy and is pretty pricey. I had to bring it in from the UK. So still looking for their debut full length, but anyways, got Skull Fist, Heavier Than Metal. And killer new wave traditional heavy metal band out of Canada. And there was 350 of these. This is number 222. Trying to remember the year. I'm thinking this was 2010 when it initially come out. I don't see the year on the back here. But here's the inner killer band. Yeah, if you dig Striker and Enforcer and Stallion, all those bands, Skull Fist is right up there. Just so freaking hard to track down, though. Somebody needs to reissue these. Okay, this next one I just got in this week and was super happy to find this pressing, or to find out that it had been kind of repressed on vinyl. Maybe even for the first time, I'm not sure. I've never seen this on vinyl before, and I wigged out as soon as I saw it pop up. But I love this band, German band, and I've had this album since it came out, 2002, right around in there. And kind of one of the first, before the whole scene got started or named, whatever, the bands playing traditional heavy metal. These guys were doing it, back then. So that's Metal Inquisitor, The Apparition. And holy crap, what a fantastic album. This is a reissue from last year on Massacre. But I think originally this came out, it was on Iron Glory on CD. But if you dig traditional metal, check these dudes out. If you can't find the vinyl, get the CD, it doesn't matter, because this is worth hearing. These guys are great. I remember finding these guys, this is like, coming out of the 90s, and to be quite honest, I kind of stopped paying attention to newer metal because I wasn't a fan of the mall metal, metalcore, Pantera, all that stuff from the 90s. I don't like any of that stuff, and the extreme metal, I'm not a fan of that. And it kind of sucked, and I was, still buying old stuff when I could find it. But it was like, man, it'd be cool, some new bands. And I remember, hearing Evil Star, the Wolf album, and around the same time this album, and not long after that probably was White Wizard and all this kind of stuff. And it was like, holy crap, thank God there's people still playing cool metal. And again, that's just my taste. So this stuff came along and I loved it, and yeah, jumped on it. But if you haven't heard Metal Inquisitor, especially this album, all their albums are cool, but this album's freaking fantastic. Definitely check them out. I grabbed the reissue of Merciful Fate, In the Shadows. Be quite honest, I'd never really heard this. This is on Back on Black, and looks like it came out originally in '93. Had the early Merciful Fate stuff, dug that of course, but yeah, kind of checking out the later stuff when they, I guess, got back together and started releasing albums again. Definitely cool. Need to give this more time, some more spins. I think it's only been spun a couple times so far, so I definitely want to spin it some more. We'll jump up here. Probably more S's. Slayer, Hell Awaits. Don't really need to say anything about that. Pretty sure everybody knows Slayer. Jump over here, but they are backwards. Let's see, we'll run down here. Exodus, There Will Be Blood, or Let There Be Blood, sorry. You know what, actually this is pretty freaking cool. There's 2,500 of them made, and basically they re-recorded Bonded by Blood with, was it Rob Dukes singing? And I heard about this and was like, yeah, these dudes are out of their minds. I don't know what they're thinking about. And I don't think it went over very well. But I ended up liking this. It ended up being a pretty good album. I mean, it's not going to beat the classic, but it was pretty well done. And it's pretty damn good. That's all I can say. It surprised me. And I actually ran into some dude on eBay that was selling them for like $5 a piece. I think I grabbed 5 of them, and I've traded a couple of them. Still have a couple more. Next, I showed this, and I talked about, it didn't catch me when I first got it, and I dig this band. But it's the new Cauldron, In Ruin. And there's the inner. And I don't know what it was, man. I dropped the needle when I first got it. I was all excited, and it just sounded flat to me. But I've spun it 2 or 3 times since, and it doesn't sound flat now. I don't know what headspace I was in when I first got it, but totally digging this now. Definitely got better with each spin. So, and Cauldron, new wave traditional heavy metal out of Canada. I mean, Canada's got some killer bands right now, and Cauldron is definitely one of them. If you haven't checked them out, man, do so. That's their 3rd or 4th album. I can't remember off the top of my head. Next, I've had this since it come out, and everybody was going crazy about it, and I just spun this like 2 weeks ago, and I definitely need more spins. And part of it was, it's a 3 LP set. It's kind of intimidating. It's like, man, I got to sit down and listen to this whole thing. I want to absorb it all at one time, and I still haven't absorbed it, of course. But definitely want to spin it more. But I'm finally getting around to Book of Souls, Iron Maiden. Pre-ordered it on Amazon, got it right when it first came out. Just now listening to it. Just like I said, I wanted to give it time, and I did. I sat down and listened to the whole thing. Definitely dug it. It didn't blow me away. It is far from being a bad album, but again, I think it'll be one of those, the more spins it gets, the better it's going to get. So, and I was one of the lucky ones to get it when they put it up for, what was it, $14 or something. So, it's a great deal. Not looking. Dexter Ward. I grabbed this, found it cheap online, checked it out just real quick on YouTube, dug it, so I went ahead and grabbed it. New wave traditional heavy metal, and this was before, you know, I was hip deep into that, what's going on with that scene now, and don't know a lot about this band, but they definitely fit right into that new wave traditional heavy metal. Definitely dug that. See what up we got up here. Fistful of Metal. Nothing really. We all know Anthrax. Don't really need to talk about that one. We'll do one more here. Still in the A's. What do we have? Artillery. Newer. When Death Comes. When Death Comes. I almost said When Death Comes to Town. Anyways, kind of grabbed this also. Somebody was telling me, you know, hey, New Artillery is pretty good. And to be honest, not a band I'm all that familiar with from back in the day. Or I didn't listen to when I was younger. But definitely, you know, picked up some stuff as I got older. But never heard these newer releases. And they're freaking fantastic, man. Really cool older band that's really still freaking kicking it. Actually, I think they have a new one out, which I haven't heard or seen or picked up. It's a little pricey on vinyl, so I'm kind of waiting, hopefully find it cheaper. But would definitely, on the strength of the couple newer ones I have, would definitely pick this new one up. Let's see. Like here's an older Artillery from the 80s. I don't think I have the first one. I haven't put it away yet. So. Also got this in this week. Cool band. Actually, a band I know very little about. I think a couple of the guys came from a couple extreme bands, extreme metal bands, and I may be totally wrong there, but whatever. I haven't even really researched them. And I actually have a couple of their albums on CD, and it's Firebird, and this album is Hot Wings. It's on Rise Above. And these dudes are... actually, this album's from 2006. Yeah, 2006. These guys are very 70s hard rock influenced. Cool songs. You know, just... they're not like a bar band sounding hard rock band. They're... I don't know how to explain them. Just check them out if you get a chance. And like I say, I know next to nothing about them other than, you know, I have a couple CDs by them. Like I have the first two maybe, and really dug them. I just kind of came across them somewhere, and yeah, saw something popped up on vinyl, so I went ahead and grabbed it. Really cool. Last one in this stack, reissue of Cloak and Dagger by Witchfind. And I freaking love this. I have an original of this that came out in '83. This was their third album. I have an original picture disc, and I've never spun it because it's an '80s picture disc. They all sound like shit, pretty much. And I just never spun it. I found it, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. But when this popped up, had to grab it. And this is a cool ass album. It's a little more, I don't know if they were going a little more for a commercial sound or whatever, but this is just a good rockin' new wave of British heavy metal album. I dig the hell out of this. I've done spun it twice, and like I said, I just got it a day or two ago, and it'll definitely be spun some more before it hits the shelf. Just killer band, killer album. Might keep this going, so we'll cut it here and be back with another stack probably in a little while. Okay, it's Okay, it's Sunday. I just got a few more that I've listened to here this weekend, so I'll go ahead and show those. A couple new things, a couple old things. What's spinning right now is Sacred Right. They were from Honolulu. This was their debut. This is on Axe Killer. And this is from like 84, somewhere around in there. 1985. They released 3 albums in the 80s, and it was kind of it. I think they may have gotten back together and done some other stuff, but I haven't really checked any of that stuff out. But all 3 albums that they released in the 80s are really cool. And this one, I actually found this in the wild, and it's like near mint. I couldn't believe it. It's like perfect shape. And it was a little pricey, but I went ahead and pulled the trigger because I've never come across that one in the wild anywhere. So I was excited just to see it in the shop somewhere. I also spun this today, and I think I talked about it with some of the poll video. Stage Fright, Witchfinder. This is their 2nd album. Kind of a weird album, man. It's the first side, I don't know, definitely kind of weird. And the second side, like, I dug the second side more, put it that way. It just kind of more straight ahead. And I'd never heard this before. Like I said, it's a reissue on Back on Black. I had their debut, and I grabbed those reissues of Cloak and Dagger and Stage Fright whenever they popped up, and I actually grabbed a reissue of the debut, Give 'Em Hell, also, just because I'm goofy like that. Do a rock pull. Let's hear. This ought to be good. Argent Rock Giants. Just, as you see, I found it for $3. And of course, you know, Hold Your Head Up was their big hit. So, what the hell, we'll do one more. This might be the wrong cube, but yeah. Let's not. Yep. Let's not do the Beatles. Yes, I do have Beatles, but who wants to talk about the Beatles? Blood, Sweat, and Tears. One of the weirdest freaking covers ever, man. Just, what the hell's going on here? Alright, one more. BOC, Blue Oyster Cult. Everybody knows Blue Oyster Cult. So that's it. We'll end it here. Y&T Black Tiger, fantastic album. You just look at it. I could, and I do, just sometimes come back into the shelves and just start pulling albums out, looking at album covers. White Wizard. Killer covers, always. What else do we have? Headless Children, Wasp. Some Stars. I don't know. Anybody else do that? You ever just sit down with your collection, maybe listen to a record or whatever, and you just start thumbing through and pulling them out, looking at album covers? I do it a lot, actually. Sweet Pain. I love that cover. Alright, that's it, really. Done. Just got this in yesterday, and I've spun it like 2 or 3 times. Definitely need more time and want more time with this album. This is really cool. Prodigal Son, if I can say that right, or Sons. And this is on the Void label, which I'd never heard of before. Looks like it's out of New Jersey. And basically, this is just kind of like an unknown band from the early 70s. I think I saw it listed as like 72 or something like that, but basically I don't know who they are or where they are now, where they were when they recorded this. It's just like old recordings of a band from the 70s, and this is freaking really good, man. Really dug this. Again, yeah, I want to definitely check it out some more. And like I said, I'd never heard of them. It's just one of those lost bands somebody came across supposedly and put out the music. I had this a while, just kind of pulled it out to give it a spin. Vagrants, I Can't Make a Friend, 1965 to 1968. And this is on Light in the Attic. And what caught my eye about this is this gentleman right here in the black jacket, Leslie West. This is before Mountain. It's actually him, and his brother is in this band also. And you can definitely pick him out here on the back. Leslie right here playing guitar. His brother was the bass player, maybe the singer too. I can't remember. There's a video of these guys up on YouTube, you know, old stuff from the 60s. Very, very 60s. Poppy, little psychedelic at times. Interesting album. I just kind of wanted to hear, you know, what Leslie West did before Mountain. And I came across it in the one shop I go to that has a bunch of the old 60s and 70s stuff, and he kind of turned me on to it. And he was like, hey, Leslie West was in that band. I was like, really? So, definitely cool. Just a classic. Just pulled this out. I hadn't spun it for a long time. And Justice for All. Don't really need to talk about this. Everybody knows Metallica. But it's just one of those you gotta pull out every once in a while to give a spin. And I found 2 CDs by one band online, and just got them in the last week, I think it was sometime. Never heard of this band. French band from the 80s. Mystery Blue. Hopefully you can see this. This was their first album. I think it was 84. Let's see here. Again, they were French. This one's cool album, but this one I like better. Circle of Shame. This was their second album from '86, and both these are on Eat Metal. Just you know, reissue of the 2 old albums. Nothing really inside, but very cool. In an odd way, they remind me of early Michael Schenker group and early Yngwie sound-wise. Put those 2 together. I'm not talking about the crazy Yngwie leads and all that kind of stuff, just the songs and the rhythm and the sound of the guitars and that kind of thing. Just really reminded me of you know, Michael Schenker and Yngwie. And like I said again, it's not, they're not, the guitar player isn't a shredder like Yngwie or anything like that. It's just that style. But very cool, man. I'd love to find those on vinyl. I'm sure originals are impossible to find, but maybe somebody will reissue them on vinyl one day. So that's it. I think we're going to finish it up here. Kind of edit all this together and just see how it goes. What the hell? Hope everybody's doing well, and I've been catching up on videos slowly but surely. Loving everybody's videos. Everything's getting posted. Very cool. Alright, BC. See you in the next video. Later.